Did you find any common patterns or trends as to why people would fall off and lose motivation? Because I think it's safe to say realistically, if somebody wanted to get themselves in shape, like there's enough information out there for them to figure out some sort of a basic training program, clean up their diet, and just do that for a reasonable amount of time. Yet people will have this wave of motivation and seem to stick to it for a couple of weeks. And very often something happens where they fall off and they find it difficult to get back into
Yeah.
that routine again.
So I have two answers to the question. They're sort of separate but related. So there's four areas that limit us, right? So if you think of like we all have this, what I call functional capacity, like we can operate to the ceiling and no more, right? Currently, we can change the ceiling. We all have a ceiling. There's four areas that I think influence the ceiling. First one is your physical ability, makes sense. Second one is your energy. Third one is your ability to tolerate stress, and the fourth one is your mindset. So we have these four areas that if you can think like if I'm physically limited, like if your knee is swollen, you can't do the things you want, it's going to limit you somehow, right? If you have a mindset that's limiting you, like you have a ton of fear, well, then that's going to limit you. If you're not resilient to stress, like stress happens and you go into a state of panic and overwhelm, that's not going to work. And then energy is the obvious one. Like if I doubled your energy today, everything you do will be easier and more effective. So those are sort of your four pillars of performance. And so the first thing I'm doing is I'm saying, well, which one, Mike, is limiting you? And so if we can start unlocking these four areas of performance, we can start giving people a higher ceiling. Because what happens so often is people will come in and be like, Ben, I want to lose 30 pounds. Cool, easy, no problem. This is math. This is very easy. But they can't do it. And like, oh, I'm not able to get to the gym. I'm not able to do the workout. I'm not able to do the diet. Well, one of these four areas is limiting you.
Mm.
And if I improve one of them or improve all of them, then your capacity goes up. So you're like, like think of a CEO. They can reliably and predictably take on so much and fall through. Like, oh yeah, I know that if I give them a diet, I give them a workout, I give them whatever, they're going to do it. If I give them a task at work, they can, like these people are reliable, like a Navy SEAL, like a CEO, super high functional capacity. Some people have a very low functional capacity. So if we objectify this idea of functional capacity, we'll just make these four things more effective. We improve your functional capacity. So that's massively changed my ability to be successful. So the first thing I address with people is we assess these four areas through something I call the human optimization scorecard. We create a scorecard. I'm like, hey, I need to know how you're doing in these four areas. And if I can identify the bottleneck, we make immediate changes. The other half of that equation, why some people fail, is values. So if you've ever studied values, sometimes people will set goals that are out of alignment with their values. For example, if I value my family above all, and I set a goal to do something that's going to take away my time from my family, I'm more likely to fail because unconsciously I want to move in the direction of my values. So we all have a value hierarchy, a hierarchy on which we make decisions. So if I have a value hierarchy that is in one place and I set goals in another place, just because I haven't aligned goals and values, most people will fail. Not all, but most. So those two things are how I create 100% success with the people I work with. It's like I can objectify your progress, right? So, and we do everything from studying genetics to studying blood, studying urine, to studying stool, to doing all the testing. So we can optimize the internal physiology to optimize energy and recovery. So yeah, there's sort of a long-winded answer to the question.
But which one of the four tended to be the most common?
Depends on the niche. I'd say guys who get older or people who get older, it's energy. Because often if you ever get to the gym, you're like, I don't have energy to train today. Or like I didn't have it there today. It just wasn't there. Like, okay, if I increase, and energy can be thought of in terms of amplitude and duration, right? So if I have enough amplitude, I'm probably going to be able to run, sprint, jump, fight, train. If I don't have enough duration, it's more like, well, I get tired in my workout, or at the end of the day, I'm super gassed. I can't keep going.
Yeah.
So I'd say energy's a really big one, but there's probably a million people out there going, well, mindset is a really big one for me, right? So I would say like all of them can be limitations based on different people at different times. I think physical capability for many people as well. Like, if you think of the one thing that's probably the single most important thing for you to do in longevity, it's move well. Because moving well improves your brain, improves your energy, improves your resilience to stress.
Mm.
So it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, I think the energy one is something which I've not struggled with too much. I think one is the mindset one, which is the most interesting to me. Because with my approach, and it always has been my approach, I think ever since I started training when I was like 17 or 18, it's always been the priority each day. Like it's the thing which going to the gym comes above everything else. And even when I'm traveling, I will literally go out of my way, even if it takes like half a day to find a gym, and
Find
to
the
go
best
and
gym.
train. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a mindset that hopefully you can transfer to your audience
Mhm.
because like you, when I land at a new place, the first thing I'm gonna do is find a grocery store where I can buy glass bottles of water and organic produce, generally an organic meat, and like prioritize food and then prioritize training. And then if you do that, now your energy is greater, your focus is greater, your body feels better. So your productivity in these other areas are greater. And it's just what I call an operating system. You land in Miami. First thing you do is find yourself some great food, find yourself a gym. I'm going to guess. I could be wrong, but it's probably somewhere in that
Yep.
vicinity. And most people don't. Many people are like, oh, I'm going to go and grab a drink, or I'm going to go and grab some crappy food, or I'm going to go and take a nap. And you're like, hold on, change the operating system. And it takes energy at the
Mhm.
beginning, it takes effort. But the operating system is changeable. And we're just like rewriting the software.